today, but he said
What's up?
he'll be
What's
back
up?
Sunday.
Can you guys? I can actually see you. I can see both of you, and you can hear me.
Yes,
It
I
doesn't
can.
sound muffled or anything.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to talk
I
to
can hear
you.
you. I can hear you. I can
We're
see
all
you.
good then. We're all good. We're all good.
How are you?
I got my license. Gotta get my deer license soon now, man. I gotta try
Yeah,
to.
that was a crazy trip, eh? Fucking
Yeah.
private jet in the middle of
Yeah,
nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
flying out there to
that was awesome
save a
footage.
fucking to salvage a fucking old seaplane, but the
Oh,
engine
wow.
wasn't. And I had 100
Yeah.
miles of fucking ocean to fly through. I just left it there.
I see.
I'll go. I will go get it in the spring.
Yeah, you move a lot.
Right.
You move a lot. I need you to tell, like, I be watching you, Mr. Bacon, and you're like
Yeah.
you're like the go-to guy of rosin, or not. I don't know if it's rock hash.
Matt, okay, so you guys, I don't know, as you see in the page, you all know I've been doing this for a minute or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Well respected. Well
I've
respected.
grown, I've grown cannabis on 3 different continents. And I smuggled a lot of this white substance that we're not going to be talking about. Okay. So anyway.
Righteous.
So what do we go? What do you want to get into? Hey Ninja, what's up, everybody? So
Hi,
I've
y'all.
been writing my life story. It starts off rough. I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody's actually watches the rambling in the morning, but
You be very early in the morning.
I get up. I get up every day at 4 a.m. one way or another.
Ah, like clockwork, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And then I do the little show here, and then I work on the garden.
You know how many people respect you?
Right.
How many people? All I know is
A lot.
I know a lot of people like to make hash, and I've helped out. And I spent 6 years working on a filtration system to make a cleaner hash rosin, so we wouldn't have to wash our bangers as often. And it turned out to bring out a whole bunch of benefits in the medical side. So
Nice.
I'm really happy about that. I like it when somebody calls me and says my wife hasn't had a migraine in 3 weeks when she's having 3 a day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Or the kids are snapping their kids out of fucking epileptic shock.
Yeah. You grow
Whatever.
for a lot of medicinal purposes?
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, I grow because I love fucking growing.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
I know that's
love
right.
that. And there's no, it's funny, and in the marijuana world, there's no color. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have. It doesn't make a difference the shape of your fucking nose. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? Right? You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes,
I
right.
didn't know. I didn't even fucking being Canadian. I didn't even fucking knew that existed until I went to New York City. To tell you the truth.
What? What did you not know? Tell me. So I'm on the same page. Racism?
Racism.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's here.
It's here. I know it's there, but the point isn't it's there. It's just that when I brought in, you go to Morocco and you just it's welcome.
Mr.
You go to you go to Lebanon and
Who can go to these places? These aren't normal places.
What do you mean it's not normal places?
You're going across seas and things like that. A lot of people don't have access to that type of thing. What have you seen? You've seen a lot of the world. You said Lebanese?
Okay, so I'll give you back the thing, right? I finished my career in raising horses. I had some revenue, and plus I was working for the wrong fucking people, okay? Doing all kinds of stuff that, a lot of people went to jail for a long time, right? So
I've been there.
I've been there. Yeah. I ended up in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And I make it down to Negril, and I meet some Jamaicans, and they were looking to sell some hash, right? I have the moment, all the hash I was selling at that time was hash that somebody else brought in from Israel, okay, into Montreal, and then we would send it up to you guys. So
oh, nice.
That's where it would go, right?
So, thank you.
Oh, wow.
So anyway,
listen, when it came around, when it came to Where
So
I
what
was at in
happened
the
is
streets, man, it was
I
blood.
met these people, and I ended up spending like 4.5 years with them in the mountains in in the township of St. Catharines, Jamaica. And my job was to bring in a shitload of suitcases of cash, and their job was to make the hash. And we had a loving fucking relationship.
Yeah. Oh.
The boom boxes. We're all. By the second year, we're driving pickup trucks. I'm importing cars into Jamaica. I'm driving a minibus out of Montego Bay. You know, all my brothers beside me are doing well. The kids are going to private school. We're having a great fucking time. You
Now
understand?
you're living.
Right. And I did my first flight of cannabis from Jamaica to Texas.
What?
Yeah, flew in my first fucking plane, and
Are you
that's how it
serious?
started.
Like
Yeah.
the Blow movie?
I'm gonna show. There's pictures in the book. There'll be
What's
pictures and
up?
everything in the book. I've shown pictures online in my scrapbook and that before. But no, so the whole thing is based on my passports, and that's what we're using for the timelines and that. So it's all
Where have you,
documented.
where have you
Respect.
stamped your passports? Where have you been?
Where have I been?
Or,
Okay,
okay.
so anyway, I was smuggling hash. I was growing red gum in Jamaica and St. Catharines, and right south of fucking Kingston. And then,
Whoa.
so I bring the hash back into Montreal, and I do that two harvests a year, and I bring about 100 kilos of hash every season. And then in between time, we were selling some weed up down the islands. So I got into fucking California, into Texas, St. Petersburg, Florida, you know, around.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I,
Oh, yeah.
so I dropped it, and then I met some people that were doing something else, and then they needed somebody to fly planes all the way to the Caribbean on private islands, None of these,
Absolutely.
and I can tell you, none of these planes had numbers, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, you could write you could write a movie
I am.
script.
I just sold my rights. I just sold. I'm running down.
Oh man, that's gonna be
Oh,
dope,
my
man.
God.
So
I
anyway,
When
can't
is your book
wait for
going
that.
okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
I do this,
All
right?
right, go
And
ahead.
then I started bringing. I would go to colleges, and I'd pick up a whole bunch of kids and say, "Hey, man, you want to go to Jamaica? All you have to do is swallow some hash. It'll be cool. Blah blah blah. 2 weeks of vacation. You know what I mean?"
Oh,
So I'd have like
yeah.
20, 30 people arriving from Montreal
I do
just
it.
to mule hash for me every fucking week. And then I was starting to run. Can you believe it? I was starting to run out of hash in Jamaica. You know what I mean? I just couldn't buy it. I couldn't.
Oh, my God. Oh,
And,
my
so renting half a fucking hotel. It was in the Runaway Bay, and there was runaway sunvillas. There was 24 shacks, like little cabins. It was like a little
God.
community. And
Yes.
I'd rent like 12 of them, 9 months a year. You know, and they'd
Ooh.
have the kitchen running just for to feed all my fucking people, right?
Yeah.
And then
Hmm.
ease and chasm and all that shit. Anyway, so
That's
I got to
awesome.
go to about 5 sunsplashes in my life.
What's the song? What's the Sunsplash again?
It's a Jamaican reggae festival. It's world
Oh,
known.
man. Is that somewhere where some of the good weed is grown? How much?
It's no, this is the music festival in Jamaica.
Oh,
Okay, I
what
got
is?
to see 5 of them. But yeah,
Oh,
the best weed, yeah, the red dirt in Jamaica is, for sativas, it was great. So anyway, so I learned how to make hash there, and then I doing a little thing that I was already doing in Montreal. Then I spent a little time in Miami, uh, jumping planes, and flying them into the Caribbean. Okay, and then I went to South America. Um, South America was kind of crazy, you know.
oh my!
I wasn't really cut out for South America.
What is it like
I,
there? What is it like there? Are they at war?
no, they weren't at war. Oh no, well, we're not at war. I did get robbed one time in Colombia, but I wasn't a customer.
Oh
Oh
shit.
shit! Colombia.
That I learned a lesson that time in Colombia. Never to wear
That's it.
fucking gold when you're fucking traveling and working.
What, they took your shit? They took
Yeah,
it?
first two fucking stupid rings. You know what I mean? It wasn't bling like this or anything. It was just fucking regular fucking, just two rings. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah, I hear you. You gotta be careful out
Yeah.
there.
yeah, but don't forget I'm 20 years old when I'm talking this. So anyway, I go back to Jamaica. I move there full time. I buy myself a bus. I'm driving a taxi out of Montego Bay, picking up charters, bringing them to different hotels, and I got all my people, all my meals coming in every week to fill up with
Hold
hash.
on. Hold on, Mr. Big. Listen.
Yeah.
You do know we're gonna put these in reels, right? This is
Yeah.
gonna be crazy. Continue.
So that goes along. I meet a whole bunch of people in Jamaica, and then the second character in my book comes around. His name was also Alan. This was this white Jewish guy with dreadlocks that was Rasta, like hard Rasta, but he was a white Jewish guy. You know what I mean? But he'd run his own thing, and he worked for CBS Records, and he would sign up people. And he opened the door to Europe for me. He brought me to Amsterdam, and that's how I fucking hanging out in Amsterdam. And I made a little bit of money, you know what I mean? So I had bought an apartment in Amsterdam, and sitting around with the
Yo,
guys.
Anchor Selects started following us. Shout out, brother. Continue this.
So then I was brought into Spain, and then I started applying my trade in Spain, and that's where I learned all my dry extractions. It went from hand rubs to dry extraction. And then while I was in Spain for 4 or 5 years, I bought 18 acres of land in Seville, Spain, right off the coast. And I was supplying the European market with that for a long time.
Damn.
The Cyclops 3 started following us.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Cyclops, yeah, brother. Yeah, that's all my people come following around, right?
Oh yeah, they're here.
Yeah, old school knowledge, yeah. So I hang out in Europe for a long time.
Oh, this is 100%.
So I was bouncing from fucking Spain, and then I bring hash into France and Germany. And then when we're finished making the hash, I would do cannabis down into the Baltics, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and all up
Ukraine?
Yeah. There was a big cannabis market in the mid '90s in Ukraine. So
No, none of this is new.
Where was the biggest market at?
Well, see what happened was in Georgia. We started the Eastern European market was very good. Okay, for flower, and it was easy to get in. Okay, but then in Georgia they started growing cannabis, and they replaced Spain for that market for Russia and Eastern European countries. So
Georgia,
the country. It's just
the country. Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
So I did that for a fucking while.
I'm listening.
I came back home. I bought a condo. I got my two roommates pregnant. In between at the same time, I have two girls that are 34 years old, 3 days apart. Lived with both women for 7 years.
Yes. You're living the life. Like it's okay.
And then I came home, and then I got popped with 57 kilos of cocaine.
Where?
Yeah. In Montreal.
57 fucking kilos.
Yeah. I got to sell half of it, There was only 57 left. I should have worked harder. I should have worked harder now. I think about it, right?
Where did you get caught with that at?
You have to just read the book because it gets really fucking kind. I can't really bouncing around. We're supposed to be talking about family. But anyway.
Okay.
So I get some really good lawyers. I end up spending 18 months in jail. And no, hold on. Let me finish. The whole case was based on a testimony of an informer, and and
Oh,
the
you
informer
fucking
was
rat.
yeah. So the lawyers tore that apart. It took 18 months. I got it.
Oh, thank God.
So
What,
right now I'm burnt. Right, I can't travel anymore. And this is
what
like
if they took your
2000.
passport?
This was hey.
They
Oh
took
fuck
your
yeah. The Americans wanted to talk to me too, and you know.
777
So what happened?
lobster.
So what happened is I was acquitted criminally for the importation of the 57 kilos, but
Good.
Revenue Canada came on and charged me for the taxes on the revenue of the cocaine.
They can tax cocaine?
Yes, they can. They don't care where the money comes. If you made it, they want their fucking taxes.
Holy shit.
You
That's
know what I
insane.
mean?
Oh, oh man. So if you
What
had
the beef?
gotten caught with the 57 kilos, how much time would they have tried to give you? Life? What is that? A lot of
Oh,
time.
my story wouldn't be so interesting. I'd probably be homosexual right now. So does that answer your question?
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so you figure
I
it out,
got you.
right?
True story.
I got you. Oh man. So this hash, what got you into the hash? Like you're serious about your hashes and how you're making them.
Yeah,
You spare no
it's just,
Right.
I don't know. It's just, I was running away from a lot of shitty shit when I got into Jamaica, and I felt really at home.
yeah, in Jamaica.
People were cool. Yeah, and it was really cool. And you didn't need a lot of shit, right?
No,
And just
I wouldn't.
people. And people, when they talk to you and they actually spend time and enjoyed seeing you and smiling in your face because they were really happy to see you.
Yeah.
And that's something I really miss. You know what I mean? It's really warm.
Oh
So,
man, so you probably made those people's years. Like you'll probably make their day when you used to come through because
oh,
like the money that you
yeah,
make
I
over
changed.
here.
Hey, listen,
Oh yeah.
listen. We had a school now. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Everybody was
Oh
working. Everybody's rubbing out hash. Like everybody's buying pickup trucks and fucking Toyota Corollas. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah.
The, the
Right.
fucking, and even after I left, they continued. Different
RG
people.
Banshee.
They were all
That's
in.
what
But
made
then
you
all
want
the
to
year,
like.
but hold on here. There's a fucking sad story. There's a sad note to this,
All
right?
right. All right.
So I met Alan, and we're going out there, and we're with fucking Gene Seekers and fucking Frenchy Cannoli and all that in Europe, and
Frenchie
fucking
Cannoli.
yeah, they come. The fucking European boys, they all come back to Jamaica with us that next season, and they bring the fucking bubble bags. Okay, the hash bags, the bubble bags,
Yeah.
and then
Right.
they were educating the Jamaicans, and there was two types of hash in Jamaica before 2001. Okay,
Yeah.
there was hand rubbed. There was mirage where we'd beat the plants on a piece of marble and then scrape the hash off of it, and that's similar to what's done in India. Okay.
You know,
So yeah, you just let the marble heat up in the sun, and then you'd hit the plant on it, and all the trichomes and everything would just stick to the fucking. And more you beat weed, more you do, and it would give you a nice Jamaican mirage. So it's it for them it was a low grade, but for you guys it was quite better than anything you ever fucking
I
smoked.
bet
You know what I mean?
that. I know that's right.
So
We don't
it's
really
just
get that
another
much
wave
in.
extraction.
My
So
God. What made you want to start? You know, you're giving back to a lot of people, man. That's amazing that you did that. You've been all around
so
the world, spread love with the plant.
hey, the plant opened up a lot of doors. You know what I mean? Drugs
Oh my
can be
God.
tried all over the fucking world. So anyway, I had to come up with some excuse. So then I'm sitting in the cafes in fucking Amsterdam, right? And you're buying hash from India, and I'd be smoking this hash, and we'd be talking about we'd smoking this fucking Nepalese fucking black gold, whatever, And where does this come from? Oh, it comes from Nepalese, India. And we
Yeah.
just fucking jump on a plane, boom,
See, buddy.
and you'd spend some time. The only place I would never go or didn't want to go, it was Thailand, Cambodia, all the Asian countries.
What it's like over there?
They kill you. Iran was, and Tehran was pretty scary too. Tehran, because all the people for the hash were doing heroin at the same time, and they didn't.
Shit.
So yeah, it was
That should have changed you.
Yeah, you know, they were smuggling it at the same time. So
Man, this is like
So I spent like 7 years bouncing around writing the thesis on the cannabis plan on climatization and that. And then I published my paper and came back.
And now you're doing this. Man, you've lived a life of many that maybe would.
So then, I know I'm bouncing back, but when I did get busted and finally got out of jail, I bought 1,800 acres of land and started raising goats. You know, for like 3 years. That's the fucking lived there. I'm serious. I had dairy goats for a long time, and then I slowly went back into the cannabis. I did a couple loads of cocaine, and then I did it again, and I took the money and I went retired. Yeah, my whole crew separated. Half the guys retired to Barbados. The other guy started street gang of money.
You know what?
Not too many people have a good in this story like
10
that.
years. It lasted 10 years. So.
They make a lot of movies.
Yeah, not too many people have a good in this story. You know what I mean? So, got to end it off on a good note. Readjust yourself so you can retire in peace. You know, that's a nice, good piece of land you got over there, man. We seen, I seen you waking up to some good scenery every morning. You know,
piece of fucking paradise.
Oh yeah.
On the highest point on the mountain, all you see is fucking sky. There's 1,800 acres. I have no fucking neighbors. I can cut my grass butt fucking naked, ride the horse into town, whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? It's cool.
Right.
You set yourself up very nice. Like, this is amazing. I was going to say,
that's my grow house, and then I have a city home and a few other places.
Are you rich, Mr. Bacon?
No. I just good with money.
He's rich inside, man. He's full of knowledge.
It's very impressive.
Rich is rich. He's rich inside, man. He's a unique human being, man.
You're different.
So that's more than rich.
You know what's going to be sucking? At one point in life, where I'm going to have to move back into more of the city and not be included on property. You know.
Why?
But the last day comes, doesn't really matter. I was fighting stomach cancer, and I had like tumor in my pancreas. I had a little medical things the last couple of years, you know. So I changed the aspect because I'm not really fucking worried about the Porsche anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Keep smoking weed, man.
Yeah.
Keep smoking weed and stay with us. We've lost enough.
I said that. I said, you know, to the old lady, to my kids, I love growing weed so much. I want to be cremated and just dropped in the ground so I can grow weed for a couple of more years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, brother.
That'll be like the real last batch. You know what I mean? You have to be getting it off, baby bacon. I have one of my daughters in the industry. She moved into the microgreens, but
microgreens.
What
is that?
It's vegetables.
Okay. That's cool.
Restaurants. It's less apple.
I seen you one of your lives. Following her.
So your family help you with the grows and stuff? They're into growing too?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh wow!
Yeah, my fucking kid grows better than me, man. She did. She pissed me off. I left her. I had a commercial facility, and she turned it over. You know, because you know the old man.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What do you think about the past couple summers? Like, what do you think about the way it's been going, like the outdoors and you know?
We've been on like a three-year cycle, I'd say. 2000. Let's go. When do you want to start? Because I've been doing this on this property now since 1987.
Wow.
So
yeah, I mean, you know more than I would know, but I know that
let's go down from like 2017 was a very good year. Okay, 2018 was wet. 2019, we had an extended season, average sunlight, but we had very late winter. So we had almost 11 weeks of flowering for me.
Damn.
So we got a bumper crop. You know, I got pictures of 2019. The plants are 20 feet tall. I was averaging 4 to 5 pounds, 6 pounds a plant, you know, all day. At one point in 2019, the Mexicans wouldn't climb the ladders to cut the crowns off the tops of the buds. They said it was too high. You know what I mean? So that was interesting. That was a great year. You know. And then last year was a funny year. Where it changed for me in 2021, I was growing the black gold from Quebec seed. It was the 7th generation. I was growing it on the property. It was climatized, and it was like a no-issue weed, right?
Yeah.
And I was making 2 or 3 products for the medical industry, and that's it.
Wow.
And then my daughter turned around and said, we're going to get into the recreation. And when that happened, I had to have a lot of variety. And then I had to jump into this world of fucking hybrids and watered down fucking cannabis and bread. And so I've been actually searching since then.
So you feel like this weed, these hybrids, I guess, strong feel that you don't like that shit.
Well, I don't like it, bro. It's just that, you know, I can understand everybody was running for the gold mine. I can understand there's certain corners and certain things. You know, when you used to, 20 years ago, you didn't have so many people growing seeds. 15 years ago, we had a little bit more.
They're everywhere.
10 years ago, it started coming up. And in the last 8 to 9 years, everybody's a fucking breeder. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody's got genetics or whatever in their fucking name, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Bilbo.
What happens here is me being closed off. I always step the same fucking genetics. And the way it worked here in Quebec is you had to know somebody that had genetics, and you started off with some clones, and then you grew off. You know, you mothered them out, cut them off. Or you found seeds in your brickweed, and you know, or somebody had a seeded female, and they handed you over some seed stock, and you hunt through that, right? Or actually, you didn't. We didn't call it hunting. We just grew what we fucking had.
Right.
Now that's a whole fucking other fucking story, right? Where they say, "Oh, I'm doing a pheno hunt."
Right.
Pheno hunt is nothing but a fucking bunch of seeds, and you find what it's in. You know.
Right. It's always something.
So,
damn.
Right.
That's a lot, man. So you don't like the with the cannabis? It's a lot of strains coming from every way.
The point, I'm getting high and I rumble on, but the point I want to make here is when you take 2 cannabis plants, okay, that have been grown outside, grown inside, they have a certain amount of genetics memory. Like a cannabis plant that's used to growing in California in a certain humidity and environment will fly very well. But as you take it and you're putting it into the East Coast where it's colder, and it won't have the genetic memory, know how to close its cells, what nutrients to take up, what mycelia to fucking cultivate in the roots. You know, it's all in their genetic memory. That's how a plant knows when to flower, knows how to release their terpene profiles, how to do all that other stuff, right? So when you take 2 plants and you cross them, if they're complete strangers, you only retain 50% of that genetic memory from each plant. So like 50%. That other 50% is lost, and we don't even know what that 50% is. It going to hold back the memory that good drought resistant in cold and mildew, or is it going to hold the memory to grow faster and to deal with the heat? So you never know. All you know is you're taking these 2 fucking plants and you're losing 50% of each memory, and you're putting them back together. So doing that at a certain amount of time, you're going to run into trouble. Yeah. And the most part is you're going to see strains today where you pop them, you grow them in your 4x8, they do just fine. You take them outside, they never see the fucking sun, they don't know how to deal with sunlight. Then you have to take them in slowly, transition them, give them genetic memory, let them out, figure things out, and then you can put them outside, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not fucking normal.
And it doesn't work.
Okay. It's fine. You're going to just grow in your 4x8, but
thank you.
You're losing. It's like you're breeding fish in a fucking.
So that would be kind of pointless if you growing more outdoors though, right? Wouldn't you?
Well, outdoors, what happens in the natural cycle of a cannabis plant, your plant will grow. Okay, that mother has all that genetic memory because she just grew through that season. She gets pollinated. All that genetic memory is in that pollen and in that female cannabis plant. Then the plant will die. Nobody harvests those seeds. They fall back down. Now they already know what to eat in the soil. They know what to expect. They grow, and that's what we call land race, right? Well, that land race, all it is different between the cultivated cannabis is that it's implanted its own genetic memory and it developed its own traits, right?
Right. I know now. Right. I'm learning. I'm listening. Everything. That's deep.
Well, that's what will happen in the natural world. I mean, that's why plants shed seeds, right?
That's how it goes. You know what I mean? Then that plant grew up, took all that nitrogen, and picks up all that nitrogen, dies, falls back down. That plant eats off the nitrogen that the plant chelated out of the soil, so it already has that on top of its own nitrogen that's being fed by the mycelia that's still alive in the root mass. You know? Wow. And that's how it.
All right, so I got a question for you too. So I'm just going to past couple years. I seen last year you had all your plants in the ground, and then this year you tried using the pots. What did you find anything one better than the other?
I'm gonna have to write out this year because I had bought some 444, a dry amendment, and I found out that dry amendment was over a year and a half old, and I used it in my soil, and that amendment had fucking had changed. So my soil was way too hot. And then we had forest fires on top of it that really activated the potassium in the soil. So I wouldn't count it as fair. I do like the whole fucking thing, the way the barrels is and that. I just have to restart it, and I can't really criticize or say it's better or not, because when the test was failed, it was flawed in the beginning, and I admit it. I made a mistake. And then it took me a while to figure out, but then by elimination, I figured out, okay, why is the fission cell showing up in these pots and not in the other stuff over there, And
that's great.
So this is your first time in the big barrels?
No. Listen, it's so big, man. You got a lot of land, dude.
Yeah.
It's a growing tree.
I can tell you one thing: there's certain traits there's certain strains that don't really benefit from all that big soil, but there's certain strains like all the GMO, they really love the space, and they really produce a lot of roots. Certain traits. Hey, I know your grow. What's up, brother?
Shout out, know your grow. Cheers, bro. It's a good drink.
Do you guys know your grow is a good friend of mine?
Absolutely. We did an interview with him.
Good.
He was on here too. He's amazing. His brother is no joke. What's some of your potent hash that you made that you were very impressed with, or that you've seen around in your time, man? You've seen a lot of stuff. What really impressed you?
First of all, up to about 6-7 years ago, all the hash I saw in Europe and everything was all brown or black. Okay, and I saw a little bit of a light green hash in India. Okay, very light, like fucking lime green. Okay,
they all come in different colors.
And then we started using the bubble bags and then everybody was chasing the fucking blonde and white, and people got educated, said, okay, I only want white hash, I only want the white and the light stuff, and I find that very fucking limiting, because to get a full spectrum hash, some hashes oxidate faster than others. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This stuff here was made out of fucking cat piss.
No, we were all talking to the legendary man, Bacon.
So this hash was made out of a strain called cat piss, and it's really smelled like the ammonia in the cat litter, right? But when I wash it in the water, all that ammonia and everything is neutralized, and it gases off. Now the hash smells like fucking chocolate.
What?
Yeah, it smells like fucking like cooking chocolate. And I grew a shit out of it. I wasn't looking. I wasn't going in this direction whatsoever. It's just that, you gotta fuck around, find out.
Yeah, you got a whole technique that is just massive. And you put how much hash do you be making, man? It's a lot. You had a Tootsie thing that looked like a Tootsie long as, like it was as big as a Tootsie Roll, but it was long. Like that's just. How much weed does it take to make something like that?
Okay, so for this year's harvest, I use 55-gallon drums. Okay. And I put 18 in the freezer, and then I stuffed the rest of that 15 by 20 foot freezer with garbage bags until I could close the door. And then the rest I processed like really quick, pre-season hash. Now I'm going to get into it and start working on it. So, I don't know if we're looking at, hard to say, a couple of weeks of work.
And you're a fucking legend, and I don't think you know it.
And then we'll do it drop.
Something else. There's something vicious. It blows my mind, the things that I didn't know you've done all that stuff. I've been doing a video diary every fucking morning to get up at 4 o'clock and watch it, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I didn't watch. I do post it too.
I see you. We
pop in there. Yeah. We be up around there letting reels off. I've been in there checking you out and everything.
A lot of people.
Oh man.
And there's another thing,
I know I've seen you comment
in the middle of the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't go to bed too fucking late. 9, 10 o'clock. I sleep 5 hours, 6 hours a day, and I usually get up at 4 o'clock. I'm up. I'm doing shit. Nobody's bothering me. And I jump on here, and there's always the regular people around. So. I see a lot of people on the East Coast, on the Pacific Coast. It's only midnight for them.
Right. It's only like. The time is it's like 8 over here right now.
What do you think about today's hash making? You think it's
coming along? The new thing now is that we're not going to be using the bubble bags anymore. We're all going over to the stainless steel sieves. It's cleaner. It lasts longer. The vibration in the water keeps everything from compacting. Everybody's going to be making a lot better product, and I think if the people are smart about it and they shop around and know the machine that they're selling for this right now existed in the mineral industry, and you can get it for a third of a price that the guys are advertising it in the cannabis. Now that's a fucking phenomenon we can talk about, right? I have no understanding why. I'll give you an example. I bought a dry sieve, an electric vibrating dry sieve for pastry. It's a flour sieve, okay? So they're selling the exact same one for $900. It comes on a box, and it's got a cannabis sticker on it, and it tells you the microns that's in it.
Ah, damn.
Okay, I saw the same fucking flour sifter on a Chinese site for $290. It doesn't come with a sticker on it, but it's the exact same fucking machine.
How can they jack that price up that much?
Because I'm gonna have one next week, right? And I'm gonna be teaching people how to use it properly with dry ice and everything. And it's gonna be really fucking easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it makes a really nice product. I love making hash out of a dry sieve. Mechanical extraction is always for the terpene profile and the oils and the medical benefits. You're not running nothing through fucking water or anything.
What is a dry sieve? I don't want to keep not asking and acting like I know. I don't know.
It's just simple. Is when we freeze the flour to break off the trichomes through a sift where there's no water. It just falls through gravity through it. A sift is just a screen.
Okay.
So you can use bubble bags or mylar bags with a 20, 30, 60 better to what you're using for, just so I have numbers there.
Okay.
Okay. It's just what we use to filter the bags, Like, I'll give you an example.
All right, please.
Here is the mylar bag. This is a 15 micron bag. I use it for pressing. Okay. So basically, when you're making bubble hash, you're using these bags on different size microns to wash your material through and to capture your trichomes that are suspended in the water that you're running through. Now, a dry sift, there is no water involved. It's just a vibration letting the trichomes fall through the mesh, collecting on the sheet.
The trichomes will really fall like that?
Yeah,
that's
like snow. I can make it snow, fucking, you know what I mean?
I can make it. Yeah,
I've done that. I've been I've made dry ice hash with friends of mine, just taking a 220 bag, freezing the cannabis in dry ice, putting everything in the bag and just shaking it on top of the patio door, on the glass, and just dropping it off, and it just falls like powder everywhere, and then you scrape the powder all together, and boom, you got the makings of traditional hash.
I had no idea.
Okay, so what you got to do is when you're extracting the water and anything, you're ultralighting the hash, right? So on a dry sift, you're going to need to put heat instead of the solvent that I used and the friction that I used to break these trichomes out of here. So that's another thing too. So there's a heating process where we can ultralight all the trichomes together to make hash.
It doesn't even.
I've seen Indians.
Yeah, Mark. The Indians over there, I've only seen it on Discovery News. They'll sit in the field of weed and they'll just roll it on their hand. Then they'll pick it off.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Mr. Big, he said, hold on.
Oh, you know what? And one thing that gets me fucking funny. Yeah, and maybe it's part of COVID thing. You see these guys, right? They're in these marijuana labs. They got the coats on, the gloves, the mask. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking guys are working with fucking nuclear material. You know what I mean? And here I was in fucking Pakistan, sitting in a bus. There's fucking smoke from the fucking diesel engines blowing around. Some guy's trying to sell you fucking goat balls. You know what I mean? So. Are they overdoing it? Are they overdoing it? It's a lot. The gloves, the mask, they got shit over their shoes. They got the. And then you're sitting around on a rug, and you got like fucking cooked goat and rice and baked bread and on a plate, and the guys are sitting there with a fucking gas candle, and they're warming up big plates of hash, and they're just rubbing them in like they say with over the candle. Oh man. That was the best fucking Pakistani hash I've ever smoked in my life. You know what I mean?
It sounds like fucking paradise, man. It's a different way of living over there, man. Oh, goodness. You've seen, where does the best weed you think come that you've been, that you've traveled?
What?
Where's the best weed where's the best weed you think? First off, do you prefer smoking rosin or flower?
About 20 feet away from here, in my fucking field. What do you think?
So, okay, so where does the best weed that you've ever smoked came from? You've been a lot of places.
I have to tell you, the most unique, most flavorful hash I've ever smoked, and this is including the Middle East, Europe, would have to be Jamaica.
Really?
I've grown just as good sativa. It's light cycle. It's the air. It's that bark side fucking red dirt that we grow in. That everything grows so fucking fast. You know.
It does.
I'll tell you what. Oh fuck. You know what? You know what I did for 4 years in Jamaica? I swung a fucking machete, clear out a patch. And you leave it like 3 weeks, it would grow right back up. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that climate and soil's got to be serious over there.
Oh yeah. You know, we drop a bit of fish and some seaweed, but that's about it. You know what I mean? In the ground.
You could just live off the land over there, couldn't you? Do you like living on the land? Like you're like. It sounds like you're like living on the land, man. Like you're living with the natives. You're like
you saw me shoot something and cut it up a couple of days ago, didn't you? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Let me run for the.
I've been doing it for a long time.
Back.
I've done it a lot of places, and not only to deer.
I saw you bust that deer open. I was like, God damn. You did it with no problem.
No problem. Let it go. You know what I mean?
Man, I was like, wow, man.
Around. That's pretty impressive too. What did you do? You slice it up in a jerky?
Yeah, I gotta gut it, and then you give the liver and everything to the land. You know, you give back something to the land. So the passing of that deer will probably get a fox to 3 weeks, or get all the other animals that eat the fat and the birds and whatever, you know?
Yeah. You like to get your own...
You can't just take everything from the land and walk away, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You got to give something back.
So,
really
it was a bad day for the fucking deer, but it was fucking heaven for the fox, you know what I'm saying?
It had to happen, dude. It had to happen. It's better to do it that way, man. Get your own. I really believe in getting. I don't really understand. I think you can live in the wild, man. Get in some places.
Man. No. I love my fucking Tiguan, Ski-Doo, and fucking other shit and toys and the wife, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not
you got bears out there?
They come on your property?
Well, a couple of years ago, I had this young buck growing with me, right? And he was like second season growing, and he had saw me in the fall because I'll put fish out in my field. Like I go to a trout hatchery, and when they gather all their dead fish, and I buy the dead fish off them, and I blend it out and I spread it in the field. It's very high in potassium and everything you need for that. Yeah, so. But I do it in the fall, right? And then I plow it back in. And this guy goes and does it in the springtime. So he puts a whole bunch of fish under his cannabis plants, and he puts out mature fucking plants on top of it, right? 2 weeks later, he comes to his fucking plants, and everything's ripped out. Everything's fucking ripped out. And I'm saying, he says, I got busted. The cops destroyed my field. And I look at it, I walk up to it, and I look. And I can see the bear tracks. I can see where he dug. The plant was there. He didn't give a fuck about the marijuana. He just dug the plant up and said, I want that fucking carp that you threw in the ground. So he went into the creeks and picked up that carp. He caught carp and just used it as fish.
So my God,
so I've seen that happen with bears. And then another person, went and put fucking molasses in the early spring on the ground, and the bear just tore up the ground for the molasses.
That's like honey. They love
So you
it.
gotta think. You're doing outdoors. There's certain things you gotta take into account. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mr. Yes. Listen.
I'm trying to run it into an encounter with
appreciate you for your time.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
You are
I told you. You asked me a while back, and I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you so much, man. This is going to be.
I can take one more fucking thing off my list.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is one of us. We can never think you come, but we got you. Do not worry. We're gonna tag you in so many reels. Just ignore it. If you want to shoot, if you want to do what you want, you're gonna ring off the hook, okay? We appreciate you.
Oh my!
You're a legend, man. Stay with us. Thank you.
Hey, guys, have fun. Stay medicated, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay?
Peace.
Bye.
Mr. Bacon, dude. Mark, what the fuck? Did you see that? Oh, we just got Mr. Bacon. Okay, I gotta get out of here. That was fire, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Canna Brothers Podcast. No. This is Canna Sessions. Thank you. The second episode of Mr. Bacon. Peace, guys. We out of here. Deuces. Thank you.